Hello, my friends, and welcome. Welcome back to another session with the older man. Yes, my friends, it's a Saturday morning here in Dubai, and it's time for another weekend lesson. Well, it's not like any other lessons any different than any other day of the week, but just sounds nice saying it's a weekend lesson. So hopefully you guys are waking up on Saturday morning in the West and hearing this particular session. Today, I want to talk about why older men are no longer chasing relationships. And it is a common theme, especially on this channel. I do have a lot of older men who actually follow me here. Even though I want to speak a lot to the younger generation, there's a lot of older men who get a lot of great comfort and knowledge from this particular channel. So, of course, my feed this morning, I got hit with this gentleman, Mr. Mark, and he has a podcast called the Every Man Has a Story podcast, and it's brilliant. I love listening to older men. I don't know if he's older than me or not. I only listened to a few episodes, but Mark, I am here to say, brother, I love your work, and I would love to have a chat with you. You sent out an open invitation. You're living in the Philippines, and I'm going to reach out to you because I think us two older guys, we need to chat. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing one of your videos, my friend. It's been popping pretty hard, and I think it's a message that should continue to more and more men around the world, especially older men, because it is an issue. I'm going to put my opinion on it as an older man who've also met a lot of older men in this channel as well. And we're going to just take it from there. I'm just going to have a little back and forth with your video. So that's what this segment is going to be on. Men who have said, yeah, to hell with that. I like my peace. I'm no longer interested in women at all. But like I have been doing in the past 5-6 videos, I am going to be continuing this lesson with critical thinking skills, my friend. And guys, for those of you that have sent me feedback on the critical thinking skills sessions, I really, really appreciate that you've given me the feedback, and it's positive that you actually learn a lot from these things. It's surprising a lot of us in the West were never taught critical thinking skills because technically they don't want you to think critically. They want you to be a zombie. They want you to act impulsively because people who think critically actually don't conform to whatever BS is out there. Now, it's a double-edged sword. People who think critically have a harder time conforming to political parties, but also on the other hand, they also have a harder time conforming to conspiracy theories. So it's vital that we all learn critical thinking skills. So with that said, let's look at the principle we're going to look at today for critical thinking. Identity biases. This involves recognizing personal or external influences that may skew judgment. For instance, in a relationship scenario, being aware of a bias towards always assuming your partner is at fault can help in approaching conflicts more fairly. Here's an example. Let's say you have a bias where you believe that your partner is always forgetful. If something important is overlooked, your bias might lead you to immediately blame them without considering other factors. By recognizing this bias, you can approach the situation more openly, considering that there might be other reasons for the oversight. Okay? So that, my friend, today we're dealing with identity bias. Now, I did get a question last time in the chat, and someone asked, well, what is a bias? Because I was talking about bias. Here's a simple explanation what a bias is. A bias is like a lens that colors the way you see things. In critical thinking, it refers to a tendency to lean in a certain direction, often without even realizing it. This is the problem. We all get set in our way. You're a Republican or a Democrat, a Tory or a conservative. And it doesn't matter if the situation is in favor or against, because you have a bias for one party, you think along party lines. People who think along party lines are biased to that party's opinion. Biases can shape our opinions and decisions, sometimes leading us away from an objective evaluation of the facts. Recognizing your biases is key to thinking critically. That's why this word bias is going to come up often when we talk about critical thinking, because it's the thing that we need to avoid. All right. So that, my friends, is the critical thinking lesson of today. Subscribe if you're getting value from this, my friends. Please give me a thumbs up, because now we're going to get into Mark's lesson from the channel, Every Man Has a Story. I just want to say, my friend, I love that title for your channel, man, because it is true. Every man has a story. So he's at 73,600 subscribers now. Gentlemen, go over there and help him get to 100,000. I want to see him with that plaque sitting on the wall. All right. So, Mark, let's see what you have to say, my good man.
We get a lot of emails from guys who talking about relationships, especially men back in America, my home country. And they're saying, Mark, you know, I'm sure it's all nice and everything over there, and the Filipinas look like really sweet girls, but you know what? I'm fine being single. I don't want to be any more relationships. I'm settled in my life, and I've given up on the whole idea of dating or going out with anybody. And there's different reasons behind that. I mean, some of them went through very painful divorces where they lost, you know, their house and big part of their pension, and it just left a big bad taste in their mouth, the whole idea of marriage and a relationship. And then also, depending on where you live, if you live in like a small town in Indiana, there just might not be much of a selection. You know, there's just, you know, no women that these guys are attracted to, or they're attracted to women that are outside of their scope of, you know, possibilities, you know, women that wouldn't be interested in them anyways.
And another thing I got to add, coming from a small island, you know a lot of these women pass already. I did realize something growing up, that a lot of the older men in Cayman, in my country, that did get married again at their older age, they always married expatriates. It was never other local women, because a lot of the older men knew these women that they grew up with. When you're in a small town, you know her history. You know how many men have gone through it. You know her past, and it's usually never good, because the good women who actually get older usually are still married, or their husband have passed, but because they were good women, they get scooped up again quite easily, because all the older men recognize that, yeah, she was a good woman, she was a good wife, just unfortunate that her husband passed before her, etc. And or the husband left her for a younger model. It doesn't matter. If she was a good woman, she will get scooped up, even at a later age, by other older men, if she understands the dating dynamics. Most older women do understand, but I just thought I'd add that in.
And so they go, you know, to Walmart, and they see these women that are their age, that are 40, 50 pounds overweight, and they're wearing sweatpants, and they got tattoos, and they just like say, you know, forget about it. I'd be happier just being alone by myself. And also, you know, sometimes they find women, you know, in general kind of intimidating, especially American women, because they can be a bit aggressive.
I don't like that word, Mark. I have a real problem with women tend to use that word a lot, but I should not expect you to use that word, my friend. The reason is because I told a woman this before. She said, oh, men are just intimidated by me. And I just look at her, I said, listen, most men can punch a woman and knock her out, finish her. Men are not intimidated by anything that they could literally destroy with one blow. That's not intimidation. It's just literally they're not interested. It's too much work. They're disgusted. These are words that women don't like to use. So they throw in the word intimidation to sort of minimize the fact that a man rejects them. I understand what he's saying, but I wouldn't use the word intimidated. If a man looks at a woman and say, yeah, she's out of my league, that's not intimidation. He just recognizes that, hey, you know what? Not for me. That's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to get rejected, so why would I waste my time? It's like looking at a Ferrari and say, hey, can't afford that Ferrari. I'm not intimidated by the fact that I can't buy the Ferrari. It's the fact that I know that Ferrari is out of my damn league. Simple. It's the same thing in relationships, man. I see a reliable Toyota there. That's more on my standard. That's more where I'm comfortable with. That's what I'm going to buy. I can see more utility out of that. Intimidation for men is simply a man who says, that's not going to work for me. And he feels it. He can see it. That's going to be too much work. And this word intimidation shouldn't be used by men.
And kind of to the point, they're kind of blunt when it comes out to things, you know, saying what they feel. And, you know, guys, you know, we're not, you know, wilting flowers or anything, but we know we've got feelings too. And when a woman comes out and says something negative about you, or insults you, or, is very opinionated, it can turn a guy off, really quick.
That's the word you should use. Turn the guy off. Reality of it is, women are extremely rude in today's environment, but usually not the older women. The older women are not rude as much as the young girls who think that they have tons of options. Older women are not rude. Your 20-somethings and your early 30-somethings, they're the rude ones. Once you're reaching in your 40s, you kind of realize, this rude thing isn't working for me. I got to calm myself down. But if a man recognizes that, hey, this is going to be a lot of work, and he can see that within the first 10, 15 seconds, he's going to just walk away from it. Nothing to do with intimidation. Here's the other thing. If you're an older man, rejection has been part of your entire existence. From the time you were in high school right through until you now exist. That's it. Whether your wife was rejecting you for sex, if you were married for a long time, whether you were rejected in jobs, whether you were rejected by loan officers, rejection is part of your existence as a man. This is what women don't understand. They call it, you're intimidated by me because I reject you and you're afraid of rejection. No. We're indifferent. We're like, do I really need to go through this shit again? I don't give a shit about rejection. I shoot my shot so often. I've been rejected so often. I just said, okay, fine, cool. But I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about men in general. Any man who has worked, who has been out there hustling, has been rejected many times by the time he's 55, 60 years old. And I'm assuming these are the men that he's talking about. These are older guys, man. Rejection is part of their freaking DNA.
And then, of course, there's the old thing, the baggage that these women have. Like if you're dating women within your age range, say, I'm talking men 50 and up, they've got kids usually, teenagers, and the teenagers don't want nothing to do with you. And if, let's say, you ended up living together in the same household, these kids aren't going to listen to you. They're going to do whatever they want unless they want money from you. And, that can be kind of, a weird situation, having these, soon-to-be adult kids, underfoot and basically kind of looking at you like, who the hell are you in our house? And we don't do it that way and all that stuff. And then a lot of these women have a lot of debt, too. They got credit card debt. They got car loans, and you don't find that out until you're deep into the relationship. And another thing is just, low sex drive. A lot of these guys just, they've lost interest in sex. When you're old, when you're younger, you're in your 20s, 30s even, that's all you can think about is, sex is on your mind all the time. Plus it's being thrown in your face on TV and movies and advertising. But once you get to be a certain age, it just doesn't mean that much to you. It's nice, and some guys enjoy it, but they say, I don't really need it, especially if it was someone who you're really not that attracted to anyway.
No, I need it. I need it. You understand? I need it. Yeah. I get what he's saying. A lot of guys who don't take care of themselves physically usually have low testosterone levels. Their sex drive isn't on point. Most of these guys that, especially in America, they're overweight, they're out of shape, their body isn't functioning at its optimal, big stomachs. Talking about me right now, this YouTube freaking thing. I move a lot less when I'm doing YouTube because I'm literally sitting down and doing these videos, and then I get up and then I go and edit the video. I'm sitting again. So I'm sitting a lot lately, and I've been struggling trying to stay more active. And I've realized that, hey man, you just need to get up and keep moving. I still go to my workout, but you do get too comfortable sitting at home and you start picking at food, because that's pretty much what I do. Is I just work from home now, right? All I'm saying is be careful, gentlemen. As you get older, you got to lift the weights. You got to make weightlifting and resistance training part and parcel of your existence. Good for osteoporosis. It's good for keeping your testosterone levels at a peak level. Even at your age, 55, 60, 70, it can still be going hard. Trust me. I know, I'm proof of that. And all the guys that I go to the gym with, man, they're in the same boat. Bunch of horny suckers who just lift hard. And these are older men as well. So that's how you solve that problem. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Mark. There's a lot of these guys that don't take care of themselves and they have low T counts. But so sex isn't a major part of their existence and they're not really into it. So they really don't have any use for women sexually.
And so that's part of it. Now that can be fixed with TRT injections. And a lot of guys I know, myself included, have done that, and it does make a difference.
Yeah, you don't have to take those injections if you literally just start lifting weights hard. Just pump the iron, my friend. I have no idea. I don't want to get into the whole fitness regime, but the short story is simply this. When you lift weights, you're putting your muscles under stress. You're breaking them down. And in order for the muscles to regrow themselves, the body has to produce testosterone for regrowth, because testosterone is what helps you to regrow your body or your muscles. That's why teenagers are so damn horny all the time. They're producing a lot of testosterone to get from kids or teenagers to adults, right? So you can still produce enough testosterone to at least keep your sex drive active. But men who are not lifting weights, who just think that cycling or rowing or some other non-resistance exercise, they think because they're still getting exercise that it's good. No, it isn't. It isn't good for your sex drive. I have a guy who does rowing and cycling. He's in his 60s and he said, I'm having problems getting it up. I said, dude, you got to lift weights. You got to lift weights. You cannot freaking ignore it. And I'm basically waiting for the results back from him. I told him to go get his testosterone levels checked. So I'm waiting to hear back from him. But I told him, man, if you're not lifting weights, my friend, you're going to still be dealing with this problem. But like Mark said, you can go and get these shots. Testosterone boosters, testosterone shots. Yeah, you can do that. Bring it back. But you don't have to spend that kind of money if you just substitute 3 days a week of lifting some heavy weights, man. That's it.
And then, of course, guys just say, I'm happy to just stay home and watch TV. I was married for 25 or 30 years and I was miserable. And now I can just sit home, watch TV, watch the shows I want, go to bed when I want, take a nap when I want, and do what I want to do. And I'm totally content, and I don't need anybody in my life, and that's fine. If you don't think you need anybody, you don't need anybody.
When I hear guys say that I didn't get to do what I want, man, why would you groom your wife to make her think that she could do that to you? Man, I sleep when I want. I take 2 to 3 naps a day sometimes when I'm here. My wife don't care. She always asks me, you okay? You need anything? Blah, blah, blah. That's it. She closes the door, makes sure the cat doesn't bother me, because the cat loves to come and snuggle up next to me, and I hate it. Point is, my friends, is that you got to have the right wife, and you got to control her behavior. These are men who have made their wives control their behavior. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Yes. Leave me alone. I want my rest. You don't like it? Get the hell out. That's how you handle shit like that. But men who stay in miserable relationships are men who have made their wives control them. Don't do that shit, man. Don't ever make that get out of control. She lives her life. I live my life. When I hear crap like this, oh, men, live in miserable relationships. And you guys just, I don't understand. You've gotten so deep into the gynocentric lifestyle and, happy wife, happy life crap that this is what you made happen to you. No, I refuse to make that happen to me, my friend. My wife is quite contented making sure that her husband is happy because I make sure she is good. That's it.
And they'll say, my dog is all the companionship I need. Another reason is like poor health. A lot of these guys that let their health, slip, when they're not in a relationship, they're not married, they're not looking, they're not going to the gym, they're not taking care of themselves, they're kind of eating what they want, putting on weight. Some of them have diabetes. A lot of them are overweight. And so, for these reasons, they just aren't healthy enough to even have an active, sex life or dating life or social life, even because they're kind of stuck at home. And then another thing is like, especially if they haven't dated in 25 or 30 years, they just have low self-esteem, no confidence at all. They have no confidence when it comes to a woman or approaching somebody. They may know somebody that at work or somebody at a club that they go to, and she's been friendly to them, but they just don't really know how to approach her and what to say to take it to the next step, whether that's going out or whatever it is. They just don't know what to do.
Yeah, this is always the problem. all human beings adapt to whatever conditions they put themselves under. So whether you are living on the street or whether you're living in a luxury home, you become accustomed to that. That's your way of living. You can create your own comfort level at whatever level or lifestyle you have. That's the reality of life. So what happened is when guys actually give up, then they become comfortable with who they are. And it's a blessing and a curse because we don't push ourselves to be better. Comfort is your enemy. I've said this in many videos. Comfort is your worst freaking enemy, and it becomes even worse in your latter years because as we get older, we get lazier. The body naturally goes towards comfort. It's saying, hey, I'm not recuperating as I used to when I was a young guy, so I need to do less work. The less work I do, the more comfortable I get with the less. I don't have to push my body through so much pain anymore. Why am I working out? I feel sore every day. But unfortunately, my friends, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be functional, you need to keep functioning. Yeah, if you want to be a fully functional older man, you need to function, and you need to function at an optimal rate. You have to keep pushing the body harder and harder at your age because that's what keeps you younger. It sounds counterproductive, but that's the reality of life. So a lot of these guys, they get comfortable, and this comfort comes with consequences. You ignore doctor's visits because you don't have a woman there to remind you or to keep pushing you. You're always thinking, that little pain I'm feeling, that's not, I'll get over that. I'm sure it'll go away next week. Next 2 weeks later, it's not going anywhere, but it's not getting any worse. Then all of a sudden, boom, it's full-blown cancer. It's a full-blown problem that you freaking just left there and festered. Instead of the second you felt the pain or you felt the problem, you should have just gone and checked it out. Then you're saying, I don't have the money for that, blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is, it's now going to cost you even more. It's best to go and check it out. It's like an old car, man. If you hear some minor knocking on the car in the engine, go get that shit checked out first instead of waiting until it starts to become a clack, 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 clack. That small little ting, 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 ting grew into a major problem. When you start to see smoke and overheating, it's already too late. Just like the body, my friends. But just like the body, if you have a car that just sits and doesn't move, it's going to go bad. You got to keep the body functioning in order for it to work at its optimal rate. That's the reality of life, my friends.
And when they find themselves alone with someone or in a conversation where it's just the two of them, say they're at a party or a bar or whatever, and it's just the two of them, and he's got to carry on a conversation, it's like they don't know what to say, and they start talking about their truck or hunting or, a job that they used to have 20 years ago, and they just bore the hell out of her.
Because your relationship skills have been dulled. You have no bloody practice at talking to anyone. Because as we get older, we tend to isolate ourselves more. We get comfortable in our own heads. Gentlemen, you have to stop that. Always practice talking to strangers. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, I see you here often. You come here often? This is a nice day, huh? Nice day today. Oh, that's a beautiful hat you're wearing. Oh, that's a beautiful dress. Blah, blah, blah. Every day, compliment somebody, talk to somebody. Be that nice, pleasant older man that just, he's nice. That nice guy. Yeah, as you get older, that is an asset. Because the opposite of, that's a nice guy. That's a grumpy old man. He never says anything. Which one do you prefer? The nice old guy or the grumpy old man? Those are the only two titles you get once you freaking start to get older. Yeah, okay. A lot of women like to hear, that's a nice old guy, man. He's so nice. He's so sweet. He's always smiling. He's always cheerful. He always says hello to everybody. That's what you have to practice as you get older. That keeps your relationship skills sharp. I want you to listen to this autumn. So I'm going to cut it off for Frank here. I want you guys to go and watch the rest of this. But he hit some really good points. And you should go and check him out because he's now happily married in the Philippines, which he thought would never happen again. And he has a kid. So go and check out his channel. Subscribe. I think he has some good wisdom to share. All right. It's another older man sharing some wisdom. But I want you to listen to what happens when it goes wrong. for some men. So this gentleman is 68 years old, and he's telling his story. He's homeless. You don't want to be here, gentlemen. This is where our worst nightmare resides, right here.
I never thought I'd be in this predicament. I was involved in a relationship for 18 years. She initially left back in May of 2022. I didn't realize, I guess, how reliant I had become. I realize that more so now that she's been out of my life for, I guess, now 2 years. Most men at 68 are proud of what they've accomplished, or they were retired from something they've done for 30, 40 years, something they feel that I could leave a little legacy, or they own a home, or they own something. I am in a hotel room where I'm a squatter waiting to be evicted. No car. I received Social Security, and I didn't have the foresight and the knowledge of realizing, guess what? What about your future? All I cared about at that time was going out, not having any responsibility. I didn't realize how I would hit rock bottom and go beyond rock bottom, if there's such a thing. I'm 68. I've got nothing. I feel like my life is over with. I didn't realize how lonely and you feel just so isolated. I never thought I'd be.
This is something that a lot of you, especially those that have been brought up by single mothers, you're all thinking for today. This gentleman never thought about putting something away for the future. That is the hallmark of a female's mindset, okay? Hallmark. A man should never think like this. You should never be in this position. You should always be thinking, hey, I make $100, $20 out of that goes to my future. It goes into an investment account. I don't have to have a house, but at least I have an investment account that's building. To hell with that 401k and shit. And that should be separate from your wife. He probably got wiped out by his wife because he was careless. And that's the problem. A lot of you older men get wiped out in your relationships. And what did he do? He also relied on her. You do not rely on your woman. This is the hallmark of a freaking woman. I don't rely on my wife. I tell this story. I probably told it already, but I'll just tell you guys again because it's closely related. When my wife went to England over the summer, a month ago, she took our kids because I wanted to stay back here to work on a YouTube channel. And her mother's going through a tough time medically right now, so she had to go and take care of her mom. So she called me, checking on me to find out if everything is okay. And I said, yeah, I cooked some food, I cleaned this. I told her all of these things I had done, stuff that I didn't even do for weeks when she was here. But the idea that I had cleaned the house and everything was in perfect condition and everything was going well, my wife said, okay, don't get used to it now. She said this to me because she understood that I don't need her for anything. I'm a fully functional man. I'm a fully functional human being, just like she is. We can function apart. But she enjoys doing stuff for me. She enjoys doing stuff for the family, right? So the idea that this man depended on his woman for literally his life, because it sounds like he's just in freaking disarray right now, just freaking frustrates me, because no man should do that. None. So whatever little assets he had probably just got scraped out in his divorce, and then he spent the rest of it just having fun. That's a female mindset, my friends. You'd never have that mindset. So, gentlemen, learn that lesson. Now he's broke, he's lonely, and he's homeless. It doesn't get any worse than that. That is every older man's worst freaking nightmare. Squatting in a hotel room. Oh, God. Oh, that breaks my heart just listening to it. Gentlemen, I hope you understand and learn these lessons today, because you do not want to be in this position. Women, it's even worse. Ladies, it would be even worse for you to be in this position. That's why it's important for you to have a good man by your side. But a lot of women wipe out men in their later years and divorce him and take every single thing that she could take out of it and move on, instead of understanding and seeing the value of a man. But that's a whole other story. Today I'm talking to you gentlemen, all right? So I'm going to end it here, my friends. So listen, subscribe, join the membership system. We're getting ready to open by the end of this month. All right? Probably before. You're going to get an email. All of you who have subscribed already and joined up, you're going to get an email to invite you over to the new platform on Skool, Skool, Skool.com. I was going to originally open it up on Facebook, but it's just too convoluted and complicated on Facebook. Skool is a lot better platform. So look for that link coming up, my friends. Okay? So until next time, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Okay?